everybody. Good evening. Today it is 11th of February 2026. It's 9 p.m. here in Ireland, the UK. So it's Wednesday. It's time for our spiritual light. And today, as you can see, we do have a special guest direct from Denmark. So Rubens Plomgaard. It is our friend who are today with us. He lives in Denmark, and I will leave him to introduce himself, and we will get to know more about him. Meanwhile, our topic today couldn't be different. It is love. Love is in the air this week. We are celebrating it on Saturday, the Valentine's Day. So, what important mark, what important feeling. I make a joke about love is in the air, but the good vibrations at this time, it is in the air, and that's amazing. So, our topic today it is love as a way of life beyond Valentine's Day. Okay, so Rubens, welcome. This is your first time here in the Spiritual Light. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Please introduce yourself. The floor yours.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. It's hello, Elsa, hello, Stevan, hello, Charles, and hello, everyone who's watching us on the stream. I hope we're going to have a great time together. For me, always this talk about love is one of the most beautiful topics in life, you know. So just to say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. My name is Rubens. At the moment, I'm leader of Life Spirit Society, one of the spirit houses in Copenhagen, in the center of Copenhagen. Our meetings held on Sundays, 4:30 p.m. Yeah, so I'm so happy to be here. Thank you to be a part of this.
Thank you, Rubens. Good evening, my dear Elsa. How are you?
I'm happy to be here once again, as usual. Very busy, but always time to think about love because love is in the air. As you said, we can breathe love, we can live love, we can spread love. That's it. So it's nice to that our friends, our audience, people from other countries can exchange suggestions, comments, ideas, and talk. Free yourself to say that. Okay? Bless you all.
Perfect. Bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir, Steven. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Welcome to Rubens. Welcome on board to the club, as I would say. Yes, love is really a very simple thing, just a word. But the simplest things are sometimes not the easiest to understand and to put in practice. So let's try to develop this a little bit tonight.
Yes. Okay, good. Allow me to give my 1 minute introduction. As I said, February is often associated with love. I, for those who are on the north part of the planet, those who are in the south perhaps have a different date. I know in Brazil, the Valentine's Day, it is in June.
Good.
Yeah, in June, but mainly in Europe and America, it is Valentine's Day. So, in this moment, in this time of the year, we we have love in kind of gifts, in celebrations, in phrases, and Spiritism invite us to deep ask, what is love? What is true love? How do we live every day? It's important. And in Spiritist teachings, love is not an emotion, it's a moral force. Why? Because it expresses through charity, through patience, through humility and service. As we know, our model and guide, Jesus himself, taught that love is the foundation of all divine laws. And tonight, we will reflect on love not as a feeling, but as a way of life, a daily commitment to think others are as fellow spirits in evolution. Okay, saying that, saying that, I want to kick off our discussion here. And I will start with our guest and Rubens. How does Spiritism defines love, true love?
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about this point of talk about love, because love, a part of being very easy to talk about love, but it's very personal. But then we have to get into how the Spiritism thinking define the true love. No, we know the Spiritism define true love as an unconditional love, that love that really come from inside of you, come from your heart. It's not a possession love, that love that I have someone, I have something that belongs to me. And the Spiritism really say to us all the time, the real love, not the love you can get return, but it's the love that it giving, giving and devotion. You have to give and receive back. But there is a lot of good example of love. The true is real love. Example of love is the love of God. The Spiritism always showed us and say to us, which is very well explained in the Gospel according to Spiritism, one of the most beautiful book in this that I've been so in all my life, not only because I'm spiritualist, but because it's that kind of book that the chapters of every second chapters in the book bring you to love. Every single word in the book bring you to love, held you to the love. Um, of course, as well, when I was being invited to talk about this love, specific this point of love, I took my book, then I was at the Gospel according to Spiritism, then I get up in the chapter 11, what is one of the most beautiful point when the Spiritism say, love your neighbors as yourself. I think when the Spiritism bring it to you, this kind of how does Spiritism define a true love? You want to talk about the love of Jesus, the love that comes from you, not because you love the person close to you, but because you try to love everybody that come to be a part of your life. And of course, this book brings you a lot of instructions, especially for the Spiritists. And many different points, the law of love, for example, and the love say the real love is a divine essence that kind of everyone getting access to the love, from the humble to the most elevated people. So for me, the Spiritism it really define love as a unconditional love, that love that you really how can I say, you really give yourself, and no matter how, no matter what. That's the most explanation for me about the true love.
Good, thank you. Charles, agree with me, ladies first. My dear Elsa, true love.
For me, true love is something very impressive that moves mountains. When Jesus thought that the first time they encouraged the word love each other, love yourselves, love God. It's giving us the most important guidance for life, for eternal life. As a immortal beings that we are, we follow this path. But in nowadays, as you are talking about the theme, love as a way of life beyond Valentine's Day. I was out of the blue, yeah, when I was preparing something here, came to my mind something very important. As you know, I got married for 23 years in love with my husband. Every day was a day to celebrate love between us and to put this love in practice towards others. And he departed, and I still on my own for so long, so long. But now I'm thinking about the love in 70s, in 60s, that is so in modern world, give it a chance because I don't feel myself with 70s as a elderly people, elderly one. No, the class of elderly adults, young people already changed. We are in our the most perhaps blessed age that you have more wisdom and you have the courage to do things and you have the strength and we can do what more than sometimes people stay 1 week to do something. Sometimes we can do in 1 day because we have this pulse of love encouraging us every day, not only love between couples, but the love that I had for so long time. I think I still have this fuel feeding my soul in order to put it really in practice. And as I said before, my friends are in my age. And friends, Elsa, why you stay alone? Why you stay alone? Your love is so nice. I said, I have love more than you think because I can put in practice this love that is still inside myself. Love not only something that you buy a cake and a chocolate and give it to someone. It's more than that. It's celebrated every year, every day, your true love between you and your husband or your boyfriend or some companion. And more than that, really together put in practice the love towards the world. Later on, I'll tell more.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. We will reach that um, that question. So let me give a good evening to Iralia home. So good to have you here, Iralia. Luvium, thank you for joining us as well. Yes, as Elsa said at the beginning, please ask your questions. Don't be afraid. We are here with love to help you. You know. So, and Charles, as you know, I always keep the easy questions for you, even though we have a guest. But it's his first time, so I'm gonna treat him well with love. So I'll not ask the tricky questions to him. But can we differentiate, or how we differentiate a difference between emotional attachment and spiritual love?
It's indeed a quite complicated question, and it's a little bit linked to psychology. I'm not psychologist, I'm an engineer, but okay, let's try to at least start answering this question, complementing also the statements, excellent statements of Ruben and Elsa. Huh? The true love is unconditional, huh? And does not expect anything in exchange, does not also has anything like possession or expectation of the other to be like we want him to be. No, the true love is really unconditional, means to love the person as the person is. with qualities, for sure, with some affinities we have with them, for sure, as well, but also with some defects, because nobody is perfect here on this earth. It's not, earth is not the home of the angels, and we are not angels. So this love is really important to be unconditional, and also linked to the so-called charity, as per the Spiritist body of knowledge definition, which is benevolence for everyone, indulgence for the imperfections of the others, and forgiving what we have suffered from the others. Because without this, we hardly can live together. We hardly are practicing what is really love. So with regards to emotions, emotional attachment and spiritual love, emotion is something that is part of the nature. I will just introduce the point, because indeed it's quite complex question. Emotion is part of the nature. For instance, we have the emotion of fear. We have the emotion to be angry when something, an injustice is happening somewhere, or there are a lot of emotions that basically it's part of life, and that we cannot block or we cannot avoid. But the point is, what do we do with this emotion? If we are angry, are we immediately jumping and shouting and becoming violent or whatever? Or are we, with emotional intelligence, because this is also a concept which is very important here, managing to control this emotion and to develop sentiments which are in the way to solve, to fix, to smoothen, or whatever the situation. And that is also a characteristic of true love, is exactly, even when you have an emotion, trying to control it and to try to find a solution, not entering in the vicious circle, but instead trying to be a beneficial circle out of it. Because again, it's part of nature, so we have to live with it, and we have to do whatever we can in order to keep it under control. So the spiritual love is going really in this direction. Spiritual, first, it obliges to give up of any attachment to earthly things, because we know that the day, sooner or later, we will go back to the other side. Sooner or later, we will have to die, maybe tomorrow, maybe in some decades, but one day we will have to go. We will not take anything material with us. So attachment to all what is material will bring us deception, disappointments. And somehow with the persons, with beloved persons, is it really true love, or is it a love which is more linked to some material benefits, I would say, for feelings or things like that? Is it a true love which is spiritual, so from soul to soul, or is it a love which is mostly fueled by physical sensations, let's say, in this way? And this is also to think about, because again, the true spiritual love is a love from soul to soul, independently of any material consideration. And this is really the true love, because and this one will continue even after passing away, even after death. It's a love which is immortal, let's say so, that does not dissolve in any condition. Whilst when the love is more focused on attachment or on material subjects, then when the material things are stopping, sometimes the love disappears completely. So it was not a true love. But of course, it's not easy. Huh? We are not perfect. We are in a material world with a material body. Of course, we are souls. And this is exactly where Spiritist body of knowledge brings us a lot of food for thought on these subjects. Huh? Because the soul being immortal, what is the true value that the soul will take with it when, after again, passing away? And that is really making the difference between the temporary values or goods or emotions and the immortal values and emotions. And this is really, we should more and more try to focus on what is immortal, what is long lasting, or even immortal, rather than all these material things which will only produce their effect when we are in the matter, and this effect will stop when we will leave the matter. So that's just a small introduction, but I leave our special guest and Elsa to complement it.
Okay, good. Rubens, you want to add something?
Yeah, well, this question I've been asking to myself many times. Do I am a possessive person in my love, in my relationship? Attachment for me always say that uh, to give the message that to say that you are mine, you belong to me. It's just another term of possessiveness, for example. You know, if I think that person belongs to me, it's a kind of selfishness. Spiritual love is that kind of love that you say, I belong to you, I'm yours, instead say that you belong to me. You know, because actually love is not exclusivity. I'm not exclusive person just because I love someone. You know, it's about peace, it's about happiness, it's about something that making myself feel good. You know, so I'm always been thinking, what exactly, you know, when I talk about attachment, what I can improve myself. I think the difference between attachment and real love is to understand what exactly that you are doing with the person that you are together. Not necessarily as a relationship as a partner, can be your brothers, your friends, your neighbors, the person that you know that your daily live you feel. So if you're thinking really deep, that's I need to be less possessed in my relationship. It's a big step to develop yourself to the real love.
Yes, yes, I agree. We need to learn how to lose in order to win. We need to lose a lot of things in ourselves. So and that's why it's hard. It is difficult. And my dear Elsa, do you want to compliment something?
I have something here that I'd like to read because it's beautiful. Um, Something that encompasses everything that you already said here, but is again bring Jesus. Né? When we hear the word love, many of us immediately think about Valentine's Day. Flowers, chocolate, romantic gestures, beautiful words. And human love is indeed precious. It is the love between partners, between parents and children, between friends. It comforts us, inspires us. It gives meaning to our days. We need love to feed our souls. And Jesus invited us to go further. Under his teachings, love is not an event, it's not a date on the calendar, it's not limited to emotion or attraction. Love for Jesus is a way of life. He said, love one another as I have loved you. And how did he love? He loved without exclusion. He loved without pride. He loved without waiting to be loved first. The love of Jesus is active. It feeds the hungry, listens to the lonely, forgives the offender, embraces the different. It is patient when we want to react. He is compassionate when we feel hurt. It chooses understanding over judgment. Human love often begins with feeling. Divine love continues with decision. Human love can be fragile. It may depend on reciprocity or expectation, on how we are treated. But the love Jesus teaches is stronger. It is rooted in the soul, as Rubens said. It is conscious. It is a daily commitment to kindness, humility, and forgiveness. I myself, I cannot say, I love more or less. Doesn't exist in love more or less. Love is love. Is a true love is love. To live love beyond Valentine's Day means loving when it is inconvenient, forgiving when the ego wants revenge, serving without applause, seeing Christ in every person we meet. Love becomes not something we celebrate once a year, but something we practice every day. When love becomes our way of life, our homes change, our relationships heal, society transforms, not through grand speeches, but through small acts of goodness repeated consistently. Valentine's Day reminds us to express love. Jesus teaches us to become love. And perhaps this is a true invitation, not only to feel love, but to live love. Not only to speak about love, but to live in such a way that others feel God's love to us. Because in the end, love is not just a way we give. Love is what we become. Beautiful, no?
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Wise counsel. Okay, Ulrich said the wise counsel. Okay, good. So let me. My dear Elsa, you said about charity, you said about this donation. Uh, how does charity represent love in action?
I can say an example. Perhaps the ones that are listening us in these channels, Cardiac Radio, our channel, Lithuania channel, France channel, uh, understand what I'm saying, especially the elderly one, because we are talking here about something that not belongs only to young people or young couples, but for everyone in any time of life. I can say something towards how to live a charity using love in a way of life is between couples that are in their 60s and it has a 50 years living together, celebrating a gold anniversary of marriage, etc. And still, they know each other only looking each other. They don't need speech sometimes. Hands that are in this position, one know what the other are saying. That is something beautiful to live together. When we see couples like that and talk to them, how you manage to be together for so long, more than 50 years? Ah, we are living like that. We are going. We love each other. Now, the love is to be together sometimes in silence and to walk a little bit 100 meters together, to sit at the park, have an ice cream. They put love in every moment, every gesture. Is a kindness that is a charity between family, between the couple, between someone in my age, for example, almost 75, and I'm feeling full of life. That's beautiful. And when someone thinking about how to recommence love in 70s, 50s, or 60s, we see the psychologists saying it's the best thing that we can do to live love in 70s, 80s. Why not? Or get married in 80s, 90s. We don't know the future, but if you live a month into love, is already you have it already enrich your soul, enrich your life. And of course, together, a charity is between first in the family, between partners, etc. And there are more things there. Okay. Did I say something?
No, yeah, good, good, good.
Very good.
Yeah. Charles and Rubens, you want to compliment something?
Yeah, well, I've always been thinking about as well this. I think when Elsa was talking, I was saying, my God, how love actions can be more, how can I say, proper, true charity than only love, if you know what I mean. I'm only love someone. This is not saying, when I practice the charity of love someone, that means action because I'm putting myself in a resilience, not in the same, in some other level. But to be more clear, I think I can exemplify this in two ways. For example, first, I example friends. When someone that you love your friends, just love your friends. You don't ask for love back, but you love him. And the second example, the example of mothers, for example, those who was mother, he was watching us. Mother, they love the best they can do, and they not wait for the love back. The mothers love the son, love the whole family. It doesn't matter if the son love back the mother. The mother love them. So I think it's the answer is more how that you put your love, how that let's correct myself, how that you express your love to the person that you love. And then I'm going back here to again, I'm going to mention many times this book, the Gospel According to Spiritism. I'm very fond of this book. I'm reading this book all the time. And then I'll back that to chapter 11, where they say faith and charity. When you say, what exactly I can do to be charity in the love that I live in this life, because true charity exactly does not consist only in give something, in give presents, in give donations, in give gifts. No, the true love is the one that you give yourself. It doesn't matter which kind of love. No, this is not only that love that you give something to someone as someone say in the Valentine days, I'm going to give a donation, I'm going to give a present to my love. This is not the love that God asks you to demand for us. No, the love that He demands for us, a part of give some present, give some gift, is this sublime church love. Where that kind of present came for me to give to someone that I love. It came from the deep of my heart, or I only went there and picked up the money from my banking account and bought the present for the person. So that's my point.
Yes,
Charles, you?
indeed. I mean, basically, if we come back to the definitions, when Kardec asked to the spirits, how do you define love? They admitted that they cannot give a better definition than the ones which was given to us already 2,000 years ago, or at that time 1,800 years ago. His criteria is clearly do unto the other what you would like the other to do unto you. And this is also the definition of charity given by the spirits. It's not just give a coin, give some money or things like that, as Ruben just told. It's benevolence towards everyone, indulgence towards the imperfection of the others, of the neighbors, and forgiveness of the offenses we suffered. So we see immediately how both are consistent. And the charity, which is love in action, is giving us these three, benevolence, indulgence, and forgiveness, ways of how we can put this do unto the other what you would like the other to do unto you in practice. and without judgment, without anything, with total disinterestedness. So this really is true unconditional love.
Yeah. Yes, it's a daily exercise.
It is.
Juana Mora says, unfortunately, we are imperfect and most love in an imperfect way. It's wonderful to see the long-lived relationship. It's a learning process.
Well done. Very good.
Yes, yes, Juana, exactly. I would say it is a daily exercise because you have good days and you have bad days, and your partner does have good days and bad days as well. So at the moment she or he wants to listen, us to listen them, we us they listen us. So we need to sometimes learn how to stay quiet, even though you're right. And this is difficult. And my point here it is with my next question, which I'm gonna ask Charles, because when we do this, Charles, we are using our self-love. All the time we can see, oh, in order to love someone, you need to love yourself. Love yourself first, then you love someone. Great. It is correct. But the line that divide self-love and selfishness is very tiny. It's very, very, very tiny. Sometimes you are self-loving in a good way, but everybody sees you as selfish person. So, what's the role self-love play in Spiritism teachings, Charles?
Let's take an easy reference. We got 2,000 years ago, which is the following. Love your neighbor as yourself. So it's very clear, very simple, just a small sentence. But from this, we can understand two things. The first thing is, if we don't love ourselves, very hardly we will be able to love our neighbor, correct?
Yes.
So the self-esteem is something absolutely fundamental. A person which is lacking self-esteem needs absolutely to be helped in this way. Now, the second thing we can understand from this sentence, love your neighbor as yourself, is the opposite somehow. What is the definition of selfishness? Selfish person is a person who loves itself a lot, but does not love the neighbor. Okay, so you see, it's exactly the right points that we have been told by Jesus 2,000 years ago. Love your neighbor as yourself. So as soon as you love yourself a little bit, you have to love a little bit your neighbor. If you love yourself more, you have to love a little bit more. If you love yourself a lot, you have also to love a lot your neighbor. So he does not ask you to love your neighbor without loving yourself. That's not the point. And he also not asking us to be selfish, to love ourselves a lot before conditionally loving the other. It's also not the definition of love. And I think this is really a very simple idea that has been given to us, which explains us this importance of this self-love, of this self-esteem, because without it, when we don't have this faith, when we don't have when we don't believe in what we are or in what we are doing or in what we want to do, in our programs, in our objectives, our goals, very hardly we will reach them. But again, it's always very delicate not to slip into the other opposite, which is selfishness. And that is exactly the right balance we should really focus and try to analyze in ourselves every day. We must know ourselves. And that's another question. The question 919 of the Spirit's book, St. Augustine is saying, even before Jesus, Socrates was saying, know yourself. And this comes through an analysis of ourselves, because a lot of times the people who are selfish, they are not aware of it, as you told it very wisely. And that's also something very important, to stop sometimes, to think about ourselves, to meditate, to listen and to read our conscience. What is our conscience is somehow the help we get from a spiritual mentor, which is always with us, showing us, hey, be careful here, be careful there, don't overestimate as well. And another hint for that is the other advice given, love your enemies. So you see, until where love must go. We must even love our enemies. Does not mean that we have to love our enemies like we love people with which we have affinity. And it's not also not this which is asked, but willing good to enemies and never ever think about revenge or something like this. And again, there is something very important with the enemies. Our friends, they will not, even if they see something bad in us, sometimes they will not tell it to us because they want to preserve us. They don't want to be, unpleasant with us. But the enemies, they are much more direct, focused to the point. They may exaggerate, of course, but we very often learn a lot by listening our enemies. And this is also helping us to develop this self-knowledge and to avoid becoming selfish, and also to follow this teaching of Jesus, to have this love of our neighbor as ourselves.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you. Rubens, I see you're
That's a very
agreeing.
good- Yeah, I do. That's a very good question that normally we not think that much about, at least to myself, because when I'm thinking about self-love, I get a bit in panic and how do, that self-love play? Because I think the self-love play an important role in our spiritual development as a daily development, because normally we are very connected to our self-awareness and self-acceptance. That's the most important. Both of these two is very essential for our personal growing and our transformation, spiritual transformation in this reincarnation that we live. So I think back again to my point of view, I think self-love is essential point component, let's say, to our spirit development, because it's a connection with ourself. When you get in deeply looking inside of yourself, to the others, and to divine, to God, for example.
Yeah. Nadja, Elsa.
Okay, yeah, Steven. Because today my mind is only about celebrating Valentine's Day between people that love each other and people that love and respect him or herself, as we're talking here now. And for me, respecting, loving myself, for example, I will say my own example. Loving myself. I committed in myself every day to do something very important to start my day. My 7 a.m. prayers. That's it, for more than 40 years. And this is, I respect the benefactor that I know that they are there, the moment between helping me, and I respect myself, and I like the way that my day starts when I pray. If for any reason I cannot pray 7 a.m., I can pray later, it's not the same. I say, oh my God, but I have my commitment. So respecting myself, be honest, love each other, of course, putting in practice respecting, kindness, not gossip, of course, be free from this so many vicissitudes, and put in more practice our virtues. Virtues, honestly, means I love myself. I know that if I'm a good person, I have less toxin from hate, jealousy, etc., putting my bloodstream, myself, my shoulders. That means I love myself. I want the best for myself. If I love my neighbor, yeah, there's a lady, a tiny lady in my building here. I met her and we bought something. And every time that I pass through her while she's coming, I said, come here. And I hug her and I kiss her head. She smiles a lot. When she sees me from far from, she started smiling. That makes me so happy. I cannot measure my happiness when I saw this little lady that was loneliness for some days. I observed the way that she was acting in the building. I said, I will change her life. And I jumped doing that because she was teaching me how to use the wash machines downstairs, the good ones. I didn't know how to use. She was teaching me lovely, tiny voice. And from that point, now we see each other and she knows that I run and hug her and kiss her head because no one come to visit her. She stayed lonely most of the time. So I put in practice this Valentine's Day. Every day that I see her, I kiss her, I embrace her. That bring me, not for her, perhaps for her is good, but for myself, it's a good energy that comes to my bloodstream, make my day differently. That's something that the way I think I love myself in that way, respecting myself, respecting others, and more than that, do something different for everyone, neighbor here, every people, everyone that I met, that they are elderly, lonely. I am elderly as well, Bertozzo, 75, but I found the way to put lights in some people here in my neighborhood building. That is my way to use charity as a love. I love it as a charity.
Perfect. Perfect. And this comes straight to my next question, which for you, my dear. You already started to touch about it, but now we want to go a little bit deeper. So, what can we say about those who being a love story in their 70s? Uh, how we can say it's possible someone to get in love on the 70s? You start a relationship in 70s, or what is the kind of relationship we're expecting when you are in 70s?
Even some people that are listening you can say to you, but at this age, starting love, but you can say, why not?
Yeah,
Why not starting love in
that's
70?
exactly what I thought.
Love does not belong to youth, as I said before. Love belongs to the soul. When I say to someone, I love your soul, I love the person because it's not the fragile lady that has a lot of problems, etc. Not have no less one eye only. I love the soul of the person. Okay, love does not belong to use, as I said. It belongs to the soul. At 70, love is not impulsive. It is conscious. It's not based on illusion. It's based on truth. Beautiful, no? It's not seeking to build an identity. It is sharing two identities already formed. When two people choose to walk together at this stage of life, they are not chasing fantasy. They are choosing companionship, tenderness, charity, wisdom, love without pressure, affection without games. Under Jesus' teachings, every stage of life is sacred. If God grants us breath, He grants us the capacity to love. To date at 70 is an act of courage. It says, my heart is still alive. It says, I am still capable of giving and receiving affection. It says, life is not over. It is still unfolding. Isto for Cristiane and Soeli, my friend from Brazil, okay? And perhaps love at 70 is even closer to divine love. It is less about possession and more about presence, less about passion and more about peace, less about forever as a promise of time and more about today as a gift. Valentine's Day for them is not about proving anything. It's about celebrating that the heart never retires. Because love as a way of life has no expiration date. The soul does not age. And when two souls meet, even at 70, heaven smiles. So I encourage everyone, because I have a lot of people lonely or living alone, that are saying that they can find something to do, that they can find expression of love in the air, wherever they are going, not only for material pleasure, but for engaging in something that make it more easily to live until 80s, 90s, because we are gathering people. We need to live together with someone. Live alone, it's okay, but we need social life as well. So it's up to everyone to think about next year or the year after, something like that. Don't be afraid to do that, my friends. It's easy, it's good, it's important, because we are someone that can give something back to someone. Okay? That's it.
Thank you. Ruben, would like to complement?
It is, we're born to love, no matter how, no matter what, young, the old, the people, the male, the female, whoever you are in this world to love someone. Nobody born to be alone. Of course, as an option, you can stay alone if you want, but no, it's good to have someone. It's good to love your friends. It's good to love your family. Of course, with our problems in the middle, but we're born to love each other. So that's very good, Elsa. Well done.
Charles?
Yeah, indeed, excellent. There is not a lot to add. It's never too late to do good. It's never too late to love. And love is also a question of maturity. The more mature we have, the deeper understanding we have about love, the most this love is strong and true and unconditional, really. And I think there is also another aspect we didn't touch so much yet, is the law of affinity. If you have thoughts of love, you will attract people incarnated and also spirits which are also aligned with these thoughts of love. If you have at the opposite thoughts of hate and or violence or sensuality or stuff like that, you will also attract similar people or spirits. So it's again what I told at the beginning, a question of vicious cycle or beneficial cycle. And it's up to us to select which one do we want. And the people who have a little bit mediumship or which are like a little bit sensible to the vibrations around them, they feel it immediately. When we lose the control about our thoughts or when we really are not able to control strong emotions like anger or things like that, it's not good for the body, it's not good for the spirits, and we feel immediately some spiritual influence which is not good. And that's the opposite. If we manage to resist to these emotions and from it to cultivate the opposite sentiments in order to compensate it, all of a sudden it's like a shower, of good vibrations coming onto us, our spiritual mentor, and all of these spirits who are willing to help us that we attract. So that's another point taught and demonstrated by the Spiritist body of knowledge, which indeed encourages us and induces us to cultivate as much as possible this true love.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. We have 4 minutes left. We don't have any more comments. Juana today is very quiet. Yeah, but I want to invite you all to your. Let's start with Rubens. Your final words or your wrap up comments, please.
It's again, talk about love is um the thing that very personal that comes from side of you. But we have to once again we have to understand how beautiful the Spiritism doctrine bring to us the way of transformation from love of Jesus, from our love. Because when you talk about love, you think, what is love? Love is a symphony. I love who love me. This very easy. No, I love my partner. I love my mom. I love my good friends. But I want to challenge myself to love who hates me. That's the most difficult. And one of the biggest beautiful, I know, I'm sure that all of you knows in the gospel according to Spiritism say, of course, Jesus doesn't say that for us to love our enemy, because the question is how that I'm going to love someone who's killed my son? How that I'm going to love someone who's robbed my money? That's very difficult. But he say, at least it doesn't hate back who hate you. Because the Spirituals bring a lot of conditions for us to live with someone who's hate us or has done something bad to us. Pray to them, give a good tools. I think that's the most beautiful learning from the Spirituals that we can take in this reincarnation. So it's always love back much we can. And that's the key of being nice and happy person in this reincarnation.
Thank you, Rubens. Elzinha?
Only to say that it's so nice to live in peace. So wonderful when you see people in their eyes and have no hate, nothing against. It's so nice when we are more in silence and that we speak too much and say things that we regret later on. The true love is to put in practice some virtues that Jesus let us as a lesson for life. We meditate, but most of the time we jump in conclusions without seeing, without thinking, and later on, of course, things come back as a nasty thing for us. The better way to live in love, one another, love as a way of life, is to put in practice all the teachings of this wonderful philosopher, psychologist, Jesus. That's it. Thank you all. A kiss for everyone. I love you all.
Charles?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we all are aiming to have a better world. We see all these ills, these miseries, this violence, selfishness around the world. And we understand immediately that the only sustainable future for the humanity is love, is forgiveness, is stop with selfishness, to be stop with excessive pride, develop let's try to be humble and also to not avoid any type of discrimination and see how we can live together with this charity, benevolence, indulgence, and forgiveness to make a peaceful world. And it is possible. We know the hint more than 2,000 years ago already. Now we really have to apply it to avoid all these starving people, all these terrible things which are occurring in the world. And we as spiritists, we are optimistic because we know we will get there.
Yeah. Okay. So it's our time already. So let me share the announcements. We do have announcements today. Yes.
I forgot to send to you 2 announcements, Steven. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. At the end, you can say.
I send to next week.
Oops. No, it's not working this way. I need to put it here. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so next week we have Rodrigo from Spain. We're going to talk about the youth, identity and meaning, spiritist guidance in a distracted world. So it's 18th of February, 9 p.m. London time. Every Saturday we do have the Mediums book study at 10:30 a.m. The QR code is on the screen. So if you want to join, please just show up in the meeting. Also, save the date. Between 18 and 20 of September 2026, we will have 2 great events at the same place. The first one is the 9th European Spiritist Gathering. For those who are following us, we know last year we were in Finland, and this year we will be in
Belgium.
in Belgium. So we are waiting for you. And at the same time, we will have the first Youth European Spiritist Gathering. So this is an amazing announcement. So if you live close by to Belgium, come to see, bring along your children, because this is going to be an amazing opportunity to get out together. Okay? Let me see, we don't have more. Yeah, so keep reading Spiritist Magazine. And here is our website, Buzz website, Irish Spiritist Federation website, Movement Francophonic website as well. And this is it from us today. I want to say thank you, Rubens, for your time. It was a really pleasure to have you here. I hope you have enjoyed the time.
I did.
I promise next time I'm going to be more tough with the questions. You know? Yeah. But thank you so much for your time. And Elsa, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Charles, more than words express, I want to say thank you. I love you all.
Bless. All the best.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.